He texted me and he's like, to reach Legion level before the apocalypse, we need to use surrogates. That's what he texted me. I still have it. And I was like, no, thank you.
She said it quietly at first, like she almost didn't want to say it out loud. To reach Legion level before the apocalypse, we need to use surrogates. That's a real text from a real phone sent by one of the most powerful men on the planet. And she still has it. You already knew something was off. You knew it before this video. You know, just like I know that when someone has that much money and that much power, the mask eventually slips. And when it does, what's underneath is never what they promised you. She was 23 years old when Elon Musk followed her on Twitter. And look, if you were online during those early days after he took over that platform, you remember what that felt like for people. It wasn't just a follow. It was like being touched by a king. Conservative donors started texting her immediately. Complete strangers. People with serious money and serious influence, treating her like a golden ticket. Can you send this to Elon? We have a project? That kind of desperate, frantic energy, she described it exactly right. Peasants begging for a sliver of gold. But before I get to the text, I need you to understand how this whole thing actually started. Because the beginning tells you everything about how he operates. He slid into her DMs personal. Direct. He asked if she was in San Francisco or Austin. Within 30 seconds of her reply, her phone rang. It was Seth. Elon just got back. We're going to San Francisco on Thursday. 30 seconds. That's how fast things move when you're in his orbit. She got on a plane, got the interview she'd been waiting on. And then, right after, another text. Feel like going to Providence tonight. Wheels up at midnight. Private jet. Rhode Island. And here's the part that most people just glossed right over. They stayed at a place that doubled as a Masonic lodge. Now I'm not going to tell you what to think about that. I'll just let it sit there. A Masonic lodge. Midnight flight. A 23-year-old woman he just met. You tell me if that feels normal. And look, I need to stop here for a second. Because I've been covering stories like this for a long time, and every now and then something hits different. This one hit different for me, not because of the fame, not because of the money, but because of what comes next. Because what comes next involves a pregnancy and a woman being pressured about her own body by a man who thinks he's building a legacy. And that, to me, is where this stops being gossip and starts being something we all need to talk about. She got pregnant. And that's when everything changed. She said he got weirder, controlling, snappy, mean in a way he hadn't been before. And then the text started. He told her they needed to use surrogates, not suggested it, not floated the idea casually over dinner, texted it. In writing. To reach Legion level before the apocalypse, we need to use surrogates, Legion level. Before the apocalypse, she said no, simple as that, no thank you. Then he pushed for a C-section, an elective C-section, said it was better for brain size. She said no again. And this is the part nobody talks about, because everyone's so focused on the spectacle of Elon Musk that they forget there was a real woman in this situation being told how to deliver her child based on theories he probably absorbed from his own platform. Here's the thing though. She's not the first person to describe this kind of transformation. Vivien, his own daughter, has spoken about who he really is underneath all of it. And what Vivien said lines up exactly. He was always like this. He was just hiding it from the public, hiding it from people in his personal life, performing a version of himself that was palatable. And now, she said it plainly, he's just dropped the mask completely. He doesn't hide it anymore. There's a desperation to it. A constant hunger for admiration from people who don't like him. Not from his supporters, who already worship him. From his critics. From the people he's wronged. He wants them to come around. And when they don't, she said it clearly, he doesn't try harder to be likable. He wants to smite them. Her word. Smite. Like something out of an Old Testament story written by someone who genuinely believes they're a prophet. And actually, wait, let me rephrase that. It's not just that he wants to smite enemies. It's that he's built an entire platform that lets him do it in real time, to anyone, at any scale. He tweets about her. A woman he met years ago, regularly. Someone who, by any normal measure, he should barely remember. But he remembers. Because that's how this kind of mind works. Every person who said no is filed away. Every rejection becomes a debt. The reason for that, the real reason underneath all of it, well, you'll see. She said Twitter broke her brain too. Said it got a lot worse after he took over, that she used to love it. And there's something deeply telling about that, because she's not wrong. The platform changed, the energy changed, and he sits at the center of it, absorbing it all 24 hours a day, and people act shocked when his behavior starts reflecting what he's been marinating in. We all knew this. Every single one of us who was paying attention knew that the image being sold didn't match what was underneath. The savior narrative, the free speech warrior, the man who was going to fix everything. And maybe some people still believe it, but the texts exist. She still has them. Legion level. Before the apocalypse. In writing. So here's what I want to know. And I want you to answer this in the comments right now, because this matters. If a regular man sent texts like that to a woman carrying his child, texts about surrogates and apocalypse timelines and elective surgeries for brain size, what would we call that? What would we do about it? And why, when it's him, does the world just scroll past?